Hello, hello.
Hello,
How are you?
can you hear me? I'm good, Sister JJ. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah, I can hear
cool.
you.
What's going
I had
on?
some mic issues going on.
Oh,
Oh
back
my
issues.
God, I feel like, yeah, I had mic issues for a second. I feel so
Okay.
like I felt like we haven't done this in a minute.
I know it's been so long. I feel like I'm a baby born. You know what I mean?
I know.
You know,
I know.
wang
I'm
wang.
like,
You know what?
hey.
Oh man, it feels good to
Woo!
be back, Sister JJ. It's
It
fun.
does.
Yeah,
It
yeah, for sure.
does.
I
I'm
mean, I'm
telling
always
you.
looking forward to doing this with you.
Me, brother. Me
Yeah,
too.
for sure,
So
for sure.
I wanted to talk about Melo
Mm-hmm.
because there is so much stuff going on with what's happening on the court that we're watching. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Is that you twice? No, that's somebody else. Um,
yeah.
but and who? Hold on one second.
Oh yeah, that was both. Sorry, though.
Hello.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? Can you hear
Yo,
me?
Hey,
yeah,
what's
both
going
sorry.
on?
Hey, what's going on, J and J? Shout out to you and DZ, man. Y'all always holding it down. Shout
For
out to the new
sure,
media
man.
fan.
Shout out,
Shout,
shout out to you, my brother.
shout
Welcome,
out to you,
welcome,
homie.
welcome. Oh man, let's talk about Mello, man, because there's been some heated debates lately on whether he is, um, whether he's something's going on with him, or is it the fact that he has not had enough situational ball to take care of situations down the stretch. Um, and I think we heard you and Rev go at it last night on the Lit House, and it just I was behind the scenes going nuts because I'm like, at first it's some good points. I was like, okay, wait a minute, but he has had situational basketball because he played in Lithuania, he played at JBA, he played in Australia. But when you think about it, those courts are completely different environments than the NBA court. And while I initially thought that that may have counted for situational experience, I realized I might have been wrong on that. What do you brothers think about that? Because apparently
It's
what's happening has not worked.
Facts.
yeah. I I and I listened to the amazing debate that Brother Mozart had with Brother Rev yesterday in the Late House. Shout out to Brother Rev. Confuses Late
Shout
House.
out
Make
to
sure y'all go
Rev.
subscribe to Rev.
Facts.
The Confuses Late House, man. Brother Mozart, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe. To Ball Don't Like podcast, man.
Oh
Always
my God.
realize
Thank,
that
thank
he,
you. I'm so out of practice.
yeah, it, it was it
So
was a
out of practice.
is that I will say this, right? It was a spirited conversation between two brothers that were passionate about, just the NBA, the Charlotte Hornets as they are constructed right now. I mean, both brothers, brother Rev they have really diverse backgrounds in basketball. You talk about not only a Charlotte Hornets fan in a diehard in Mozart, but a guy that understands the game, a guy that understands it, that it enjoys the NBA. You have brother Rev who commentates on it and who is obviously a former basketball player as well and everything. So two brothers talking about it, and I understood both points, both
Going
sides
at
and
it,
everything.
boy.
Yeah, going at it, like, you know what I mean? It was amazing. It was passionate. I loved it. And
It
that's what
was
we need.
lit.
It was lit. That's what we need. We don't need these goody
We
goody
need healthy
conversations,
debates, healthy discussions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's what makes it, you know what I mean? So, but for me, I understood both sides of the situations, of their arguments, and Mozart was coming from the standpoint of, look, we're only 4 or 5 games, and most are if correct me if I'm wrong, you know, but from
Facts.
what I got from what you said is, look, we're only 4 or 5 games in, and right now there's no need to kind of panic, press the panic button, on what Lamelo is doing right now. And yes, he has, and we saw
They're
that he
four
took
and
charge.
one. They're 4-1. So they
Four and
have a
one,
good
yeah,
record right now. They're
they
four
have a
and
good
one. They have
record.
got momentum,
Exactly,
you know,
exactly, and
you know.
exactly. hmm And
Facts.
they are in the moment where they're playing good. Well, I mean, they're not playing the best basketball, but they're playing good basketball. You know what I mean? They're playing good basketball. The players are showing up and everything.
You know
Yes,
what? Anytime you
Lamelo.
got players like Cody Martin stepping up and
Yeah.
players like, Mason Plumlee trying to make something happen. Now, he pissed me off of the past couple of games because he goes
Exactly.
off on his own little tangent and figures he
Yeah.
can bring the ball up the court, doesn't give it to Melo. He looks Melo off, gives it to Gordon Hayward. And I'm back here screaming, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, they have to remember that LaMelo is the one that's supposed to be running this offense. LaMelo is the one that's
hmm
supposed to be bringing the ball up the court at all times, and LaMelo is the one that's supposed to facilitate everything. He's the floor general. So when they start
Yeah.
looking him up, it doesn't matter if he's having a bad game. How is he supposed to? Red's got a point. How's he supposed to work out of those situations if you keep pulling him off the floor?
And
It
I and
makes
I
no
agree.
sense.
And I agree with you both, and that's kind of like I said, I would appreciate, being on these platforms and just being able to talk to people with different viewpoints. I'm
hmm
trying to look at it from the Hornets perspective and, just from that small market organization and where they came from and where they're trying to go. And I
Yeah.
love the fact that they have a player like LaMelo because he's the engine that makes it all go, You can have
Mm.
the tires, you can have the steering wheel, but if you ain't got that engine, you ain't going nowhere. So that's why I love to see what LaMelo's going to do with this team.
Absolutely.
And for me, I feel like there's not anybody else out there like him. You know what I mean? There's not another player out there playing with his kind of flair. There's not another player out there playing with his kind of confidence. So for me, I think, I kind of agree with Tap, when Tap talks about it and say he's just a one-on-one player to me. Like, there's not many other people out there like that.
They
But when
can
I'm
do
talking
that.
about the Hornets, I mean, I gotta be honest, like J&J said, and I feel like I agree. They 4-1 right now. I feel like a lot of people was expecting them to be like 1-5, 1-4 right now. The complete opposite records. So for
hmm
me, I gotta be happy with what we got. If you got players that are stepping up, Jalen McDaniels hit like 4 or 5 threes last night. Who expected that? Like, you know what I mean? And there's just other players that are stepping up at different times.
I was
I'm just
pissed.
looking at the
I didn't have
positives.
a I didn't have an overlay for him. I didn't have an overlay for him. I'm like, damn, Jalen.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, man, overlay for you. I expect you to be hitting threes and carrying
Reason
on like
now.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Facts, So
Let
that's
me
what.
explain why I decided to go with this because everybody knows I'm a huge Matrix fan, okay?
hmm
And I like to equate Melo with Neo. Neo did not care what was going on around him. He had his own way. Think about it. He's the only one in the city mastered overlooking what was the flaws in the Matrix enough to even make himself fly. I equate Melo to
hmm
that. Melo, it doesn't matter to him that the Charlotte Hornets are a small market team. He's going to turn that team into something. Why? Because he is the one. He is the one that can take
Exactly.
that team to the next level. And that's why
hmm
I believe they've started building around him. But again, to the point, they got to get rid of the agents like
hmm
Gordon Hayward, okay, like Mason Plumlee, like the guys that don't really have Melo's best
Exactly.
at heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
hmm hmm They they
Facts.
they got you, and for me, I could see where Mozart was coming from, and also Brother Rev too. But I tend to be more of a guy that believes in, if you want to call it the process, let's call it the process. But I'm a guy that tends to believe in the process. Melo has to go through this, and Brother Mozart and Sister Jake, I don't know if you agree with what I said, but Melo has to go through this in order to really develop himself as a player. I believe what he's going through right now is development as a young player, and who is emerging into a superstar, into a leader
Did
of
you
that
say
team.
development?
Uh, uh, de- Development, development.
I
Oh,
love
my
that
accent, man.
accent.
Why you trying to get me out here?
I love the accent. Development. I'm
Ah,
like,
you
wait a
love
minute, what did
my
he say?
accent?
Oh, development. Oh, okay. You know
You know,
something. You know
development.
something
Yeah,
though. You know something.
you know.
That makes perfect
you
sense. You ever
you want
see
me
the
to
show
speak
The
French?
Prophet with Marcus Lemonis?
Yeah.
That
You ever see that
Well,
show, The Prophet with Marcus Lemonis, the business guy?
I don't think I,
oh,
I don't think I seen that one. It's on Netflix.
No, it's a
mm,
series that's like on A&E. It's a guy that owns a bunch of businesses, and he goes around and helps people build business up that are
Yeah, I
failing,
have
that are
seen that
struggling.
joint. I have seen that joint. Yeah, that's a list show. I have seen that joint. A&E. Yeah.
Okay. It reminds me of what DZ just said about the process. If you've watched that show, it does not matter what business this guy goes in, he always manages to turn it around. If it's a donut shop, he can get it profitable. If it's a coat
mm-hmm.
maker, he can get it. And I'm like, this man for these things because he has a process, a proven process that
Yeah,
works.
yeah,
That's what he relies on, and it works in business no matter what. So I see
mm,
what you're saying with the process thing.
yeah. It's a process because you know the Melo is not always going to go through great times. You know what I mean? I think this is important for him to to develop himself as a person, build himself up as a professional player as well. Not every experience that first year was, it started out rocky, as we all know. You know what I
Yeah. Did we lose you?
Oh, I was about to say I can't hear. Can you
Can
hear?
y'all hear me?
I can hear you now, DZ.
Hello, hello. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear
We
me?
can now.
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. Can you hear us?
He might not be able to hear us.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying though, overall, DZ about the process and things like that. And that's kind
Yeah.
of where I'm at too with it. I think, I just want to see them build a little bit more on the momentum that they have right now and
Mm-hmm.
just get to the playoffs. I feel like it's hard for, in my mind, regular season success is good and, getting, some of those tests in the regular season is good. But in my mind, it really counts when you get it in the playoffs. And that's just what I want to see. I want to see this team. I want to see Lamelo get into the playoffs, play some actual meaningful minutes in the playoffs, and
Mm-hmm.
then see what he can do after that. Like, of course, he's not going to make the championship. I don't believe that. But when he takes that loss, kind of feels that loss, kind of like Giannis had to do. He took that loss, he felt
Yep.
that, and then he worked
Mm-hmm.
harder, improved his game, came back with some different stuff in his bag, and the next time he was able to, go a little bit further. And that's kind of what I want to see from LaMelo. I don't think he's going to get it all in 1 year or 2 years, but I think long term, as a
Mm-hmm.
team, and the
Mm-hmm.
way Miles Bridges is playing, y'all, man, I can't wait to see where this is going to go.
Yeah, man.
Miles Bridges
It's
is
gonna be
playing
good,
out
man.
of his mind.
He is. He is. And I think that he's trying to show because Sister JJ, if you I don't know if you heard, I think Mozart knows already, but he wasn't given a contract extension during the off season. Um so
Yeah,
Miles
Miles
Bridges is,
Bridges. Yeah.
yeah. So he's going out there to really show out and show what he can really do. So for me, it's he Miles Bridges had to go through that. You know what I mean? He went through that first season. You know, people only saw him as a dunker and all that, but look at what he is right now. He's more than a dunker,
Right.
3-point shooter. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he's hitting
Slasher.
three
You know.
points. He's getting to the rim and all that.
Exactly. Exactly. So I feel like right now, whatever Melo is going through right now, it's gonna be good for him. Now, whether he ends up staying with the Hornets or he goes to another team, you know what I mean? I think it's gonna be good for him. I think, like Mozart said, and I would love for him to stay with the Hornets because we ended up seeing him, you know, being like, a part of this city and everything. You know what I mean? I do have a different view about it. That I think he's gonna stay with the Hornets. I think the organization has, you know, treated him with respect. You know what I mean? That we may have our
I think
different
he's
views
got
about it, but yeah,
Yeah,
yep,
I think he's got too much of a relationship with Lamelo to jump around all over the place. They got something good that they're building there. And shout
they
out to
do.
Rap God Reloaded. I see you over there. Shout out to
Shout
Self-Made
out Rev.
Sicario with the
Yeah,
Chessy
shout out to
Cat
brother
grin
Red.
smile and the high. You know how I feel about that. That's funny. He's got that demon high going on over there. Shout out to KP,
That is it.
KP4. Shout out to Queen Royalty, King Fuse with. Yeah, man. I mean, he's just, Miles is just playing out of his mind. And I think
Yeah,
for him to go somewhere else, for Melo to go somewhere else, I think they're trying to lay some groundwork. I really do. And I think
they do.
maybe not this year, but in the next couple of years, you will definitely see them go 4th seed or higher in the playoffs, no doubt.
Yeah, most definitely. I do believe that. I do believe that. And let's hope that things go through that direction because, you know, a lot of us, regardless of which side of the spectrum we are in, we want Melo to be there. You know what I mean? We want the best for him. We want this team to win. And because we've enjoyed this process so much, you know what I mean? And I think that's where all of us
Yeah.
can count come in the
Exactly.
middle, meet in the middle, and be like, no, we want the
Exactly.
best for this team. Regardless of which which opinions we got about, we can agree to disagree. You know what I mean? So,
Facts. Facts. And
you know,
I feel like that's all it's about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I,
exactly.
I feel like that's all it's about, DZ. It's like, what I'm
Yeah,
saying, you meeting in the middle. If we got a common ground, we all want to see Melo succeed at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
that's
And if
right.
he's in
That's right.
Charlotte and he's able to get his brothers with him, I feel like they're, at least Jello, I feel like they'll be able to kind of build some more traction. I
For
feel like
sure.
I like what he's doing with the organization. I really just want to see him succeed. I want him to become the face of the league one day, and that would be crazy to see him do that out of Charlotte. That would show his star
Oh
power for
yeah.
real.
Most definitely. That would be amazing.
I
You know
mean, and
what I mean?
Charlotte's got something to win as well because that's going to put them on the map since grandmama.
Yeah, grandma. I love what you said. This grandma. Grandma.
I love those commercials, man. Him in that wig and that dress
Yeah.
doing those dunks on that commercial. That was crazy.
That
Facts.
was amazing, man. That was amazing.
Took it
And
back.
yep, yep, yep. Take it back to there, man. And you know, I believe Lamelo is the one, man. And we spoke about it before, had a deep conversation about it. But I believe that this kid, just the way he's been brought up, the hard nosed environment that he was in with his father, Lavar has, really brought up these kids, but Lamelo really went a different path from his brothers. You know what I mean? They all played in high school and everything, but him being the last one, you know, Lavar focused more on him. You know what I mean? And you can see some of the training videos that he did when he was a kid, and him being in the basketball court with his father. And these videos are literally color right there. And this kid was so small, playing basketball, finishing at the rim. You know what I mean? Like, this guy was a toddler when he was doing that. It was crazy seeing
Yeah.
LaMelo being like literally being like 7, 8 years old, going around the basketball court, finishing at the rim. And look at this, kid right now. He's a grown man playing the NBA, and just his journey has been so unique. And if you look at a lot of your superstars like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, they went through a very unique, process. You know what I mean? And not an easy one as well. And Lamelo really shares that same sort of DNA. Yes, maybe it's not exactly the same story, but definitely the path to greatness. You can see a lot of the similarities. That's why I do believe he's the one. He's the next superstar that's about to emerge from the NBA. Yes, it hasn't started with fairy tales and everything, but which story out here starts with a fairy tale, man? You know what I mean? All of our stories, you know, we don't have fairy tales out here. You know, we
Facts.
always start
Absolutely.
we start from concrete. You know what I mean? And we emerge from that. You know. No, so I
Okay,
think it's yeah.
just I'm like live from Miami. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Are you live? Family, like he's. I was like, Rev's on right now, is he? I'm like,
Oh man,
but
for sure.
it's I really, really. I really think that this kid is that gifted. He can do this shit in his
Hmm.
sleep.
You
And
can.
when I look at, when I compare him to the character in the movie, he could do anything he wanted to effortlessly. And he ended
Definitely.
up bringing those band of people together to overtake the machines. And I feel like Melo is going to pull the Charlotte Hornets together in a way that nobody's ever seen, but not just the Charlotte Hornets. Like Rev always says, he's going to be the face of the NBA. He's young,
Hmm.
he's
Exactly.
charismatic, and he's got that
Hmm.
it factor that draws
Hmm.
people in, which makes him easily take the one.
Hmm. Yep, exactly. You know what I mean? It's funny from the three brothers, him, Lonzo, and Leangelo, very well brought up, young man, and but then he has that really personality, that appeal, that popularity appeal, but at the same time, to the personality um, to really, fully influence the masses, and that's what Lamelo was built for. And I think it's just so natural. He doesn't try hard,
Yeah.
he just it's just in his personality, and you can see that he was made for that. He was made for that. Now, being a superstar, being a celebrity, we know it's not easy to do that. You know what I mean? It's not an easy. It can be really hard to do that, to be in the spotlight.
It reminds me of that
Yeah.
movie, the Truman Show. Remember that with Jim Carrey?
The
Every
Truman
moment
Show.
of
Yep.
his life being filmed, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Mhm.
I tell you one thing I have noticed though, he's gotten much better at dealing with the press. If you look at him,
Yeah.
he's still fidgety, but his answers are they're just coming straight off the dome. He's
And
not
more to the
thinking about it.
point.
He's not shying
Mhm.
away. Yeah, he's not shying away, and he's keeping them in their place. If they ask something that he's not comfortable with, he just doesn't answer it.
Exactly. Exactly. He's more straight up about it. He's not. You can see. I can see the difference from when he started. He wasn't talking much. He was laying low bar
Right.
talk and everything.
One word
He was
answers.
never really, yeah, giving, yeah, those type of answers. Yeah. The only time you see Lamelo, be like, and back in the, I'm just talking about when we started getting to know him when he was like 16 years old, 15. Um, but the only time you see him being expressive will be in the ball in the family shows on Facebook.
True.
You see that, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah, that's
giving,
true.
throwing jokes and everything, being goofy. You know what I mean? Even, but now, like, just seeing him grow up and becoming mature and everything, not answering questions, able to make conversations with the reporters, is able to feed off the energy. You can see that growth in him, which is so important. Lonzo and Jello, they kind of, Jello actually improved as well. I mean, like, we saw, shout out to King Fuse's late house brother Rev, posting one, of the videos in Greensboro. And Jello was just having fun with the questions and answers and everything. You know what I mean? So even Jello in his own right improved, Zoe as well. But you can see Lamelo truly grew from that. He stopped being that. He's still goofy, but not like crazy goofy. You know what I mean? Like a mature type of goofy.
Right, right, right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
He
Yeah,
definitely
something that's
is. He's still got a
tolerable.
lot of
Yeah.
that kid in him, but
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
definitely matured out a little bit. The cool
Yeah.
thing, I didn't realize Jello could draw. I saw in that video he's
Yeah,
talking
that
about
was
the fact
hot.
that he can draw. I'm
Wow.
like, wow, I would love to see something. I draw myself a little bit, but not like that.
Not
but
like
enough
that.
that you know what the hell it is that I drew.
I
But
like that too. I
and
like that. I
Jay's
thought
like,
that was
oh,
dope too, JJ.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like, wow. And he seems like that type, doesn't he? He seems like the type of guy that would be into drawing superheroes and things like that when he was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Well,
drawing animals and stuff. He said and all kind of stuff. I thought that was hot though.
Right.
To show a
He
little bit
said
of
no
different
matter
side of
what, he
himself.
can draw it.
yeah.
And you could tell with the tattoos and kind of some of the artwork that he got, it's a little different than I feel like Lonzo and Lamelo's tattoos. Like if you could see his
Right.
tattoos, there's a lot more artistic in it. So you could tell he had a little bit more of an artistic spin to him.
Yeah.
So I think that's
He
cool that he's showing a little bit
probably
more
was
of
the
his other side.
originator. Yeah, he probably was the originator of a lot of those tattoos. He probably drew it out for them and had them do them.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Most definitely. And it's also and it's interesting that you're mentioning that, Sister JJ Mozart, because I didn't even know that, but it's not surprising when I'm hearing that, because when you have such a creative mind as him, because we know how we are, creative minds, all of us on the panel, and everyone really in new media, we're creative minds. So as a creative mind, your mind, you want to pretty much can do a lot of things, whether it's being, drawing or imagining things and all that, so with such, like Sister JJ, you produce, like, you make video edits, intros, you can produce your own show, how to talk about different topics. That's a creative mind. Mozart, how to, do edits, video, like, how to talk of sports, how to do a lot of things, how to draw, how to do a lot of things. So it's like, well, that's the mind of the creative. I know how to make music and all of that, so I can relate to that sort of thinking. You know what I mean? So Lamelo,
Shoot,
being a
I'm
basketball
a
savant that he
musician
is,
first, above
musician,
anything
yeah, you know
else.
what I mean? You play the drums and everything, the
Yeah,
guitar and
and it's
all
so
that.
fun. It's so
Yeah,
fun, man. It's just the
yeah,
creative
Love music.
process is, and
it's beautiful.
that's why I love doing what we do. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Because we get a chance to use that use new media as a creative outlet, and
exactly.
it's wonderful to be able to do that.
It is wonderful. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I love about new media. Like, it's like we allowing
Look at
our,
Rev. You know what I mean? The
yeah.
music that he does and what he comes up with, the beat and the melodic tones that he has in his music.
Oh
I
man,
mean, I
different.
love me some King Fuselator. I'm not sucking
Yeah.
Rev's kneecaps or nothing like that.
Yeah,
He's got some music. It's
that'd be dope though.
what you
It's
hear
amazing. It's
every day.
amazing. Oh yeah, I
The
remember when
energy.
I heard the energy is amazing. Like when I heard
Yeah.
Brother Rez one on his song, first time I was in the late house, I was like, "Yo, is that you?" He's like, "Yeah." You know what I mean? It's like he's he's like his voice is so unique, man. You know what I mean? It's so unique. Like he's that raspy voice. You know what I mean? And that is so when he raps on the
Got a
song, you know that it's
lot of
Rev.
got a lot of
Melodic and
character in his
everything.
voice.
Yeah, you know what I mean. When you're gifted like that, and you use it, you put it to good use. You use it to your advantage. And bro, Brother Rev saw that he had a gift, and he used that, and now he's able to really monetize out of it and really show the world who he truly is, because he's passionate about it. And I think that's what all
Right.
of us are here for. You know what I mean? We're not really doing it for the popularity. We're not doing it for the money. Sister JJ, you're passionate about, just music, arts, being
The
creative,
question that
making
they ask,
videos.
what would you do
Yeah.
if you didn't get paid? What would you
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
what is your passion that you could do all day long, and even if you didn't get paid for it, you could do it. And I'm doing that right now, activity that
Yep.
I'm able to exhibit in music, in video, and I
Yep.
love that. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
fortunate enough to get paid off of that, then great. But that's not why I do it. I
That's not
do it
what you do.
because it's in my heart, and that's what I love to do. And yeah, Rap Got Reloaded. Yeah, he can. There's a couple interviews out. Read a video clip. DCam's got a video clip. Shout out to DCam. But Jello is having an interview in Greensboro, and he's talking about the fact that he loves drawing. He's very good at drawing, and he says not a lot of people
Wow.
know that.
Wow. That's amazing. That's
And I know
amazing. Like,
a rap Jello fan, so a little bit of FYI there for you.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually thinking about trying to catch Jello at this practice on Saturday. It's gonna be because they're gonna have an open practice at the Greensboro Swarm House. So I'm actually thinking about trying to go over there and catch him because they said it's free to get in.
Man, do it.
I'm
you
trying. I'm trying
should.
to. Yeah, I got to RSV the ticket, so I've been trying to get one of them. I'm gonna see if I get it. If they kick me back this email, I'm going. I'm gonna try and get some footage of
Most
that practice.
definitely.
Hey,
Most definitely. Yeah.
new media in the house, baby. New media is in that thing.
Media, man. It's always it's a pleasure just, always that's why I love just not only collaborating with my brothers and sisters, I know media, but just being able to have these sort of conversations because, I may have a crazy day and everything, but the fact that I'm actually speaking with y'all, this I'm passionate about just speaking really. You know what I mean? I may love doing art and that everything and do music and all that and being, a technical engineer that I am. But I love just speaking with people, just knowing what their backgrounds are and everything, just getting to know them. That's a passion of
Yeah,
mine. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
truly is because for me, like I've been to so many countries and lived in and live in different environments and everything. And I've always enjoyed really getting to know how people, what motivates people, what brings people to different environments, and what makes them who they are. My curiosity like that, really drove me. So for me, when I see that, you know what I mean, when I'm part of such a beautiful family, and I mean meeting a beautiful sister as you, Sister JJ, and great brother in Mozart Tab, Self, Brother Rev, Danetta, the Queens, Danetta, and Queen Royalty, Lexi, Sean Bless, everyone,
shout out to Queen Roti, shout out to
shout out to
Danetta,
Queen
Sean,
Royalty.
everybody.
Yeah, shout out to all of them, you know what I mean? So for me to do this, there's not a single day where I'm like, oh man, I regret. Oh man, I don't regret it at all because it's always a joy just to be part of this and to be collaborating with y'all. So for me, my mind is like, this is a place for me to come and relax and be who I am. It's so important. Like
Yeah,
I remember the other day when we were having conversations in the jungle, and I was like, when we're just talking and having fun and everything, I'm like, yo, these this family loves me for who I am, you know, and we're all doing this
absolutely.
on the Discord, you know.
Thanks.
We're all doing this on the Discord, So,
It's like I love the fact we have that now because I always like, checking in, and there's always an interesting conversation going on somewhere. You know what I mean? Whether it be in a text,
always,
And the
whether
energy is always right.
actually on a voice
yep,
channel. Yeah,
Somebody always dropping some
we don't
information,
we don't have
JJ. My
any
fault.
poison. Right.
yep.
No, you're good. Because my mic is on a delay,
Oh
so
yeah, that's
time
what
it
it is.
out.
'Cause I was like, dang. I was like, I feel like every time I start talking, I'm cutting her off. My bad. with not, with not. I think it's lit. Just be. Since I just got into it, everybody. And what's up to all the fam, everybody in the chat. I just think it's lit, man. Just seeing everybody's energy. Just like y'all said, the lit house last night, just feeding off each other's energy. Checking in. I want to see what some of this DZ late night hitting for. I told you, DZ, I got the alarm set, brother. I'm just
I
waiting
know,
on you
I
now,
know, I
man.
know. It's
I got,
coming
I got the
back.
I got the alarm set. I'm
So
just waiting on you.
what's ID?
I'm doing it tomorrow, yeah, because I'm moving in tomorrow into the new apartment.
Congrats.
So yeah, once I get in there,
Shout
man,
out to you getting your move on, brother, and finally
oh,
getting in
thank
your
you so much,
spot. I know
sister.
you happy about that.
Oh, I am, Sister JJ. Thank you. Really, I appreciate you and the family for truly supporting me. it's not been an easy transition. As everyone, if everyone didn't know, really, it's been 2 months since I made a move to North Carolina. And I made it, at around the end of September, going to October and everything. So, coming all the way from Seattle, West Coast to the East Coast, the Pacific Northwest to the
Man, that's
East
a
Coast. So as
journey,
you guys know,
brother.
it's a journey. You know what I mean? But I loved it, every minute of it.
Wait a
I
minute.
tell you,
Shout out
there's
to Netta. Lord, do not forgive them if they ride on me. Ah. Yeah, that's like the new media
Love
theme.
forgives it, man. Oh
Shout out to
me, yep,
Red,
that's
boy.
it. That's it.
Facts.
So during this whole journey, I would never ever be like I've been grateful for it, you know what I mean? So I learned so much, and as a person and everything, and going from hotel to hotel, not sleeping in my own bed, just sleeping, on other beds in the other hotels. Very much that's what it is, you know what I mean? Now finally moving to my own home, it feels amazing, and now it's great, and I'm so happy to be finally doing that, be family in my element, really. That way I can really, give myself 100%, and bring that show back, man. You know what I mean, on a daily basis. I know Mozart
Yeah,
is fired
definitely.
up. I know Sister
Definitely.
Jada is fired up. It's about to be crazy. Yeah,
Facts. About to be crazy.
yeah,
Definitely can't wait to
Get
see you
on
get
that
back in it,
piano.
bro.
That's gonna be cool. Getting
yeah, man.
getting back on topic just a little bit here, but with Lamelo, what would you guys like to? What changes can you see him making in the future in his game? Because he needs to make some changes.
Mm.
I could see him, as a point guard. You know what I mean? I could see him as a point guard, just learning more of the tempo of the game, learning how to at certain times of the game when he needs to, take over. I feel like that's the biggest thing for a superstar, especially a superstar point guard. You got to learn when to take over. A lot of people think you can't win with point guards, like at being your star player, your championship, a championship with a point guard being your star player. But I think you can. And I think LaMelo's that type of player, with him being 6'7", he already can rebound well. He's good anticipation on stealing the ball, turning people over. I feel like he already got so many good attributes. Of course, his passing and keeping everybody involved. I think it's going to be more on the Hornets. They got to get rid of. They got to get rid of Mr. Glass, Hayward. They got to get rid of a couple other of these players that's eating up these contracts and just kind of go all into the youth and just let them push, because it seemed like the young players is the ones performing anyway.
Let me
But
a question. Do you
but
think Lamelo is a point? Do you think Lamelo is a point forward?
I think, to be honest with you, Lamelo want to play shooting guard more than anything. I think he's an excellent passer, but I could see Lamelo wanting to, focus more on the scoring, and that's what I want to see him do more. To be honest with you, Dan J,
Hmm.
I want to see him score
It
more. Like I
seems
want
like
to see him.
that wants to be. That seems like what he wants to do.
Yeah, I think they should just let him loose. And I think, I don't know if it's Mitch Kupchak. I don't know if it's James Borrego. I don't know exactly who's the person that's trying to hold the reins on him and keep him from, letting loose. But you could tell he wants to shoot the ball almost every time he touches it, and he thinks about it, and then there's something in the back of his head that's making him hesitate sometimes. And I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know if it's other, the coach saying, hey, you shouldn't take shots like that, trying to get the team involved, or if that's Lamelo himself trying to just get the team involved, because he likes to get them hype with his energy. Whatever it is, though, I think it's going to work out in the
Right.
long term. I think he just got to work it out. Year 3 coming, and this is going to be a great year 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
definitely.
absolutely agree.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with certainly what you said, Mozart. I think this is gonna be a year for growth. I think this year, you know, I wouldn't mind if Lamelo does not, because I think, yeah, I mean, there are obviously high expectations of him, especially after the season that he had, the great season that he had on his first year, and in his first year. And this is a wild take, but I wouldn't mind if he has quote unquote sophomore sophomore slump. You know what I mean? Mini one. But you have to go through that as a player. You know what I mean? As a player, you need to go through that. All the great players have been through bad seasons. You know what I mean? Not so great seasons and everything. It's all part of the journey. But I think for sure the improvements that I would love for him to make is to adjust to these situations. You know what I mean? To these hard situations, which has been through before. But when you are, when you get yourself in foul trouble, how do you get out of that? You know what I mean? How do you adjust your game to the point where you're not able to get in foul trouble anymore? You know what I mean? You defend properly and everything. We know that he's a young player with not so much experience like that. You know what I mean? We saw with Lonzo after a few years in the NBA, his defense. I mean, from the first season, his defense was stellar, but he had to gain that experience and look at the defender that he is right now. Now Lamelo is going to learn the game being through the NBA system and everything. He's learning every single time, so he's just gonna improve. But definitely his defense has to improve, and so that as soon once he defends properly, then those foul troubles that he gets himself in can lessen and lessen once he does that. So, but I think from what I could see from the first game, because I went to two games, you know what I mean, um, since I saw, from the preseason, I think with the Grizzlies, you know what I mean, and then the first game against the Pacers, I was like,
Yeah.
that's when I fully saw him. I saw the improvements he made from that first season, and he took over, and you could see that. Look, this guy is confident, man. He is
Facts.
the superstar of that team. You know what I mean? So you've seen a lot of improvements on that end, and it's just gonna get better. It's only his second year. It's only gonna get better. We shouldn't expect too
Facts.
much from the kid. Yeah.
And I gotta agree. To be honest, I
You
gotta
know
agree with
what?
two of the comments. I gotta agree. Shout
Hmm.
out to Self,
Yeah,
because
you
I
know
agree that
what?
I agree he's
And
a
Rap
hybrid
got
guard.
reloaded.
And Rev
Hmm.
got and Rap got reloaded, because I was about to say that's the next thing I was going to say to piggyback off of that, because that hybrid guard thing, I was going to literally
Do me
say it
a
reminds me
favor,
of Steph Curry.
Mozart. Can you
Hmm.
read that
Yeah.
comment for me? Because I was gonna go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read that for me.
Okay, I got you. Honestly, Steph Curry has hurt the game by forcing point guards to have a scorer's mentality. Pass first point guards aren't as appreciated in today's modernized NBA. And I agree 100% with that. I agree 100% with
Hmm.
that. I
That's
think
fact. That's
a lot of
fact.
people was sleeping. A lot of people sleep on those point guards that have those passing instincts and that can play defense and that can do a lot of things for the team and keep it under control. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
people got, besides Steph Curry and Isaiah Thompson, there has not been a dominant point guard to lead a team to the NBA ever. You know what I mean? Being the
Definitely.
star of the team. So I feel like, Steph Curry is trying to, he's the poster boy for it, because it hasn't really happened like that. And I think,
And you
LaMelo
know
can definitely
something?
be another one.
I think a lot of these coaches are trying to turn it. Look what happened to Lonzo. He was pass first, and they
Hmm.
started trying to make him a 3-and-D player. I think a lot of these coaches, they want their own Steph Curry, and they're trying to turn these point
Facts.
guards from pass first point
Hmm.
guards into all of them being like Steph Curry. And everybody is not Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Lonzo is
Facts.
better at his passing game.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And I
Exactly.
think,
Exactly.
I think a lot of people don't give credit to, like players like Rajon Rondo when he played for the Celtics. Yeah, he had Paul
Hmm.
Pierce. Yeah, he had Kevin Garnett. Yeah, he had Ray Allen. He had great players around him. But, a lot of people don't give credit for his position. They attributed to him as one of the stars on the team, and he played really well within his role as a point guard. And I feel like sometimes that
Yeah.
does mean something. Knowing when to slow the ball down, knowing when to get guys in their spots and get them open, and keep them into the game and stuff as the game goes along. I feel like all of that stuff is important to keep the team's energy up, and it helps people win championships in the long run.
And it
Exactly.
provides structure.
Exactly.
It provides structure. It's
Hmm.
better when they have structure and they've got a game plan instead of just hodgepodge all over the court, positionless basketball, where everybody's just running all over trying to make something happen. That if you look at a lot of the Hornets games lately, even though they've won, they have looked disorganized. Last night was crazy. They look like the bad news bears, Kelly Oubre and those guys just throwing shots up. You know what I'm saying? It looked really
Yeah. Yeah.
disorganized. And if they
Hmm.
pulled it together and got a little bit more structure, maybe LaMelo would probably have a lot better game.
Facts.
Definitely.
and I'm gonna disagree with you, self, on that one though, because I feel like Gilbert Arenas ain't win nothing. He had the play style, but he wasn't winning nothing. And I feel like people don't copy losers. That's just my opinion. I feel like teams
Oh,
aren't. I feel like teams aren't copying losers. People wanted to copy the Golden State Warriors because what they were doing. They were winning championships. People wanted to comment some of those. They wanted to copy some of those dynasties because they're winning championships and things like that. But yeah, I'm not seeing that from Gilbert. I like the style though. Don't get me wrong. Agent Zero was a hooper, and I was in DC when he was balling, so I got to see him a couple of times in person. And I like I said, at the end of the day, there was not many people out there scoring like Gilbert Arenas back in that day.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you on that, Mozart. Like, people will copy from, people, like they say, the greatest form of imitation is flattery. You know what I mean? And flattery is imitation, right? Is that it? I forgot. Yeah, yeah, I think so. But
Yeah,
greatest form of
yeah,
flattery is
imitation is the greatest
imitation.
form of flattery. You got it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, with Steph Curry,
Rev
with
crazy,
Steph,
yo. Rev
yo,
crazy.
but yeah, but with Steph Curry, he created that sort of, you know high flying basketball 3-point shooting. You know what I mean? So he created that. You know what I mean? So, like, he definitely made sure that that was popular and everything. So Gilbert Arenas, give him credit. You know what I mean? But he's not an NBA legend like a Steph Curry. He's not completely changed the landscape of the NBA. People will attribute that to Steph Curry, and you can say that that made it more. That made it had a double effect. You know, a negative and a positive one as well. It made the NBA, I guess, more fun in the 3-point shooting, but a lot of us miss those traditional point guards. A lot of people forget Rajon Rondo between 2008 and 2011. He was one of the best guards in the league.
Facts.
You know, like, from the South, man, he was the best guard in the league from 2008 to 2011. Like, I remember those days. So people shouldn't sleep on guys like that. Jason Kidd, you know what I mean? Jason Williams, those type of guys, floor generals, man. And the last ones that we see of that ilk are guys like Chris Paul, CP3. You know what I mean? That come in there now. Lonzo, Lamelo are more. I will say those guys they were past first point guards. When they first came in the league, especially Lonzo. Now he had to kind of adjust his game to be a 3-point shooter, along with a pass first point guard. So you can say that we wish that it was like the past, but unfortunately we have to adjust to the way the NBA is right now, and the NBA it's a 3-point shooting league. You know what I mean? And we cannot go back to the way things are today. We can just go with the evolution of the way it is right now.
Facts. And Hayward may look like somebody that's on the Matrix, but he definitely ain't the one. I'm gonna tell y'all that now. I don't. I, like so, I hear what y'all saying, but he might be the one making 30 million, but that's about it. Like I ain't seeing nothing from Hayward. Y'all know how that go.
That's about it, man. That's about it. Nothing else. For
I agree
sure.
with you. I agree with you though, DZ man. I see
Yeah.
big things. I see big things for our boy coming, and I think a lot of people want to see him play more minutes, and I want to see him play more minutes. So I just hope that that's what happens in the long term.
Yeah, definitely.
hmm Most definitely. Yeah. So, like, it's happy in the long term. You know what I mean? And hopefully, I will say we'll see a more balanced spread of basketball over time. You know what I mean? But back to Lamelo, really, I think at the end of the day, this season is going to be a season of trials and tribulations. But I think it's pretty much going to be like his first season. But second season will have a lot of ups. I do believe. You know what I mean? But there will be some down moments, like what happened in some games, like last, with the Celtics and everything. But I think that those times they build your character as a player and as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I understand the criticism, I understand the concern, but I would tell everyone, man, you know, let's stay composed.
You
Let's
need
stay
those
composed.
character building
Yeah, stay
moments.
Things will
composed.
be fine.
Fact.
You know what I mean? Things will be fine. Let's stay composed. You know what I mean? Let's not try to predict what the future holds. Yeah. You know what I
Facts.
mean?
Facts.
I know some niggas know who I'm talking about. Rev, let's not, Rev. All right, let's chill. Okay, it's all good. Mozart, you know,
Yeah, we
JJ,
got we got to let it
Lee's
play out.
included. You know what I mean? South tap everyone, but no, I think it's gonna be a great season for Charlotte and Lamelo, and I'm really looking for it. I really believe that he's going to be the face of the league in a few years' time. A lot of people are saying Luka Doncic and everything. I see why they're saying Doncic. Like I said before, he has that sort of
Here you go. Here you
star
go,
power.
Rev. Because Rev is on
Yeah.
it. Here you go.
That's that evil smile, man. You know, that's that evil smile.
We have changed the name of the stream. The one is Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward, man. Mr.
Get that
Glass,
off of
man.
there.
Mr. Glass.
But yeah, man, that's what I gotta say about Lamelo. But it's gonna be a great season.
Yeah, I
Now
think so.
fourth
I
seed,
can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah. As I'm looking for it, man. I'm looking for it. What do you think, Sister JJ? Are you expecting a good season from Lamelo? What are you expecting for this season for Lamelo?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I'm
Mm,
expecting him to, do some damage control, his averages back up because it is early. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And the cool thing is
exactly.
this is happening now and it is early. The only thing that concerns me and the only reason why I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs about them, doing this thing with his mitts is his wrist. I'm still concerned that I've seen him
Hmm.
holding that wrist and I've seen it to where it looks like maybe that could be why he's not shooting as well. So
Hmm.
if the risk is, think about it, when they were in that Pelicans game, one of those last Pelicans games, he banged his wrist pretty damn hard on that backboard right after
Yeah.
coming back. So Rev said that that's almost like an Achilles injury and it takes a long time to heal. That was like, now what, close to 6-7 months ago. If he's still
Yeah.
holding it, that means it is not healed. An injury like that takes a long time. And if he's still
And that's
Exactly.
holding it
facts.
like that, yeah, that it looked 7 months out and he's still playing. That
It's
proves that
yeah.
him coming back early when he did was probably not a good move.
I
So
had I
I,
had a
I
similar
hope he's
energy. I had a
okay.
similar injury, JJ. For real, to be honest with you, when
Did
I
you
say it took,
really?
yeah,
Wow.
when I say it took like, and it was when I was playing basketball. When I say it took maybe like a year, almost a little over a year before my wrist started really feeling like good, and I still feel like I got tweaks in it from time to time. Like, and this has been at least 10 years ago now. You know what I mean? Since I was playing basketball. So I'm telling you, something like that it
Yeah.
just stays lingering on you, and it just becomes something that every once in a while you might feel a tweak if you lay on it wrong, if you hit it wrong on something, and you start feeling that. So I feel like it's going to take us some time
Or
to work
hey,
through
how
it.
about this? Or even when it rains.
Hmm.
Have you ever
Yeah,
noticed that you feel it
exactly.
when it rains and things like that?
The older I
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, that actually affects you. Yeah.
Yo.
I've got an ankle injury that,
Damn.
happened in high school that I still deal with from time to time. So, those types of things, when the body is injured like that, it heals, but, it never really goes away. It's never really how it
Hmm.
originally was. So, yeah, he's just got to be careful, and do what he needs to do. But I think good things are going to happen this year.
Exactly,
Oh yeah.
and I just got too many points of optimism for the team. You know, they're still one of the
Me
top
too.
scoring
Me too.
offenses in the league. You know what I mean? And I feel like at the end of the day, it's early. It's an early sample size, but if they get to 20 games and they're still one of the top scoring offenses in the league, I feel like that's all we're going to need to see. So I just want to see it keep, I just want to see them keep growing. I want to see them keep scoring the ball at the rate they're scoring. I want to see Terry Rozier come back healthy. And I think he's going to be able to help Lamelo. He got a good bond with Melo too. He got a good bond with Miles Bridges.
Yeah,
He was on a
Terry
rap
Rozier
video with
works
Miles
well with
Bridges.
Lamelo.
Y'all seen that? Y'all seen that rap video they dropped with Miles
Yeah.
Bridges and Terry Rozier? You know what I'm saying? And Terry
Mm-hmm.
Rozier had
No,
he had the weak verse, but Miles Bridges verse was fire. I'm not gonna lie, but Terry Rozier verse was weak. But still, they cool together. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I feel like they hang out on the off season and
Melo's in
stuff
it.
like that. Now
Melo's
Melo
in it.
wasn't. Yeah, Melo didn't rap though. Melo, I don't think Melo rapped and he wasn't in the video, but Rozier was there though. He had a whole verse. You got to check that joint. It's called ESPN.
I'm
Miles
gonna
Bridges
definitely
ESPN.
check it. And I figured Melo probably wasn't rapping. Anytime his brothers are on a rapping, he's never shown up on their raps. If he could rap, he'd have been rapping by now.
Facts.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
guys, thank you so
It's
much for joining me on this stream. I mean, appreciate everything that you guys do for new media. I'm sure Rev appreciates it. Shout out to everybody in the family. Shout out to King Fuse Lit, Queen Royalty, Rap God Reloaded. Thank you for coming in on the comments, my brother. Self-made Sicario, DZ's Late Night Lounge. We can't wait to get back and get on that panel and talk that talk. Shout out to Mozart.
man, you
Thank you
already
so
know.
much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and shout out to all the other channels, Brother Bartrin. Shout out to DKM. Shout out to Tap Into Love for Hoop Culture. Always blessings with his voice during the streams with those videos that me, him, and Mozart put together all the time. And these gentlemen are awesome. I love working with them. I love working with you, DZ. I love working with the whole fam. You know, Danetta, shout out to
Oh
you,
yeah, most
Queen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. Please subscribe to everybody's channel. If you haven't hit the like button, do me a favor. You know how we do roll with new media. Take your shoes off. Go ahead and hit that like button for us.
Facts.
Get that algorithm up. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's get it. Anything else you guys want to add before we get out of here?
Yeah, just
Oh
like y'all
man.
said, shout out to everybody. Shout out to DZ, shout out to you, JJ, for having me on. I just like watching you work,
Most
and people got to see how talented you are. A lot of the stuff that you do behind the scenes, it ain't easy. It look easy, and it look good. It look good when it's done. But you definitely got to show appreciation to somebody that got that craft and that eye like you do. So shout out to you for sure. Shout out to King Fuse's Lit House, and just for having me part of the
Thank you,
team
my
and
brother. I
family.
appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you, Sister JJ. Shout out to you, Brian Mozart. And I totally agree with you, man. Thank you so much for bringing me on. And so such a pleasure being with y'all, both you, my brother, and my sister. You know what I mean? And collaborating. Doing this. Having such beautiful conversations. Sister JJ, like I said, man, you're a diamond in the rough, man. You know what I mean? You're a diamond in the gold right now, man. So
Thank you, my
we
brother. I
know how
appreciate that.
amazing
Hey,
you
listen,
are.
I also
You
want to
know.
give a shout out to I want to give a shout out to Vegan Knowledge too. And those of you who
Yeah. Shout out to me.
are interested in getting some health and healing, not only with the mind is what I do, but she does. She's a vegan. She's got a gentleman, I think, who's in his 80s, who nursed himself back from some bad health issues with
Wow.
like a raw diet, and she's going to have an interview on her channel tomorrow at 3:00. So if you guys want to join or come in or jump in the stream and ask him any questions about what he's done with his health, she's going to be on tomorrow at 3:00. So yeah.
Facts.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
We're
Yeah, definitely
going.
got to tap into that. Definitely.
Yeah, we definitely tapping in for sure. And I'm so looking forward to that. It's gonna be a beautiful stream. And before we go, shout out to Torrin Santana. He said that JJ, you are truly phenomenal. You take things to a new level. Shoes are always off. She's so talented. Hey, true words have never been
Thank you.
spoken before, man. True words, man.
Facts.
Shout out
Exactly.
to
Shout
you.
out to JJ, yo, for real.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Well, we're gonna go out with the new media tag, our intro, and I will talk to you on the flip side. See y'all later.
See you later, man. Peace.
Peace.
Lord, do not forgive them if they ride on me. Still playing for the sixer, but the five on me. Loyal to some killers, you can die slowly. It's me against the world, all eyes on me. No, I can't flex, no flex, no biggie. Junkies going dummy for that wet, no biggie. Steps to a jet, now it's jets, no biggie. Now ready to die, time. Lord, do not forgive them if they ride on me. Still playing for the sixer, but the five on me. Loyal to some killers, you can die slowly. It's just me against the world, all eyes on me. No biggie, just going down me for that way, no biggie. Steps to a check, now it's just no biggie. Not ready to die, but it's time, no biggie.
It's that Kobe flow, every shot I take I hit. I've been on the road, 3.5 in my slip. Fast coming in, when I hit everybody lit. I'm not no street punk, I got businesses legit. Pistol on my hip, you could say I'm just a kill. She could be a bad bitch, but can she help me make a meal? Can she treat me like a king? Can she keep my stomach filled? And when I'm in the field, will she really keep it real? Moving like a Navy SEAL, do it solo, who gon' squeal? Stacking racks, that's my skill, and I love to count my tail. At my house on the hill, feel like we dying just to live. Damn, feel like we dying just to live. To them it is what it is. Take a life and then go chill. Damn. Feel like we dying just to live.
Zaddy call me mean, how he worry when I'm teared up. Can't imagine that that's all I've ever seen. Others call me Trina, they asking have you seen her? Knowing that inside I'm going through it like Katrina. Rock, paper, scissors, we vibing in the mirror. We smoking in the cook, going look like a blizzard.